Welcome to the Hometeam Podcast. We are going to be changing names soon.
Yeah.
But, this is Eve. This is Sam right now. And the two other guys are, lack of a better word, not here.
Hey, they're Fugazi. They're the ones who really wanted to do it. Yesterday, but hey, man, it is what it is. There's a snowstorm in Michigan, so.
Some people are without power, living like they're in third world country.
The motherfucker bought an iPhone just so they can't use it.
Yeah. March 3rd podcast, but you have the two of the greatest out of the four. Since they can't defend them, I'm just going to say we're the best members of the podcast group out here. And anyway, today's topics are, we're going to go with a wide range. We're going to start off with Turkey-Syria Earthquakes. And then we're going to do Q&As also. Eve has some topics that he wants to focus on.
We'll start with the Q&A.
Yeah, we'll start with the Q&A. AI-generated artworks or masterpieces, are they really? And then finish off with my favorite topic, the Republican Party. The right party.
The scum of the Republic.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's go, man. This was supposed to be really quick. I had more questions, but I forgot them. So just quick yes and no. And it would have been interesting if the others were here. But it is what it is. All right, my first question was, who is the better, not bigger, the better artist? Huh?
LeBron.
No. I'm not off sports. Is Kanye West or Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I think Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne too. Okay, my other one, which was actually my other question. Okay, yeah. Is Ice Spice a good artist or a bad artist?
She's a munch artist.
She's a munch. That boy is a cat. Okay.
Is she a good artist in today's sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
In today's.
I was just wondering because I don't know. I only heard the stuff from Twitter. Like, they always clip her verses, and they're catchy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're catchy. So, and that's all you need today is to be on TikTok when you're making money.
She wrote it.
Yeah, at least she wrote it. Yeah.
So it's catchy. Today's sense, yeah.
Yeah.
She is a good artist if you're rating it based on today's sense.
You heard it here first, guys. Ice Spice is a good artist from this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Rated. Gotta give us a like.
Yep. Yeah. Check. Shouting out Ice Spice. Maybe if she sees this, she'll shout us out and get our sub counts up. Huh?
You got a girlfriend. Relax.
Hey, no, I'm just saying get engagement up, man. These are the hot topics right now. All right.
Not hot anymore. She's cooled down. She needs another track. Let's keep it real.
No, bro, I swear, she's got, there's like this new, anyway. All right.
Yeah, and if she needs another hit, it's over. You get 1 year shine off a good hit. And if you don't come up with another one, oof. Even Blueface came out with a couple, and he went back to reverting to what he's doing now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. My final question is the question. Okay. Who is the best Spider-Man? Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, or Tobey Maguire? Tobey.
What do you?
Yeah. No, I just want to know what your opinion was, man.
We grew up on the same era.
I know. No, but there's a lot of people older than us that are like, no, Tom Holland's the best.
Is it the old guy?
No, I don't know. I mean, like people online. No, Tom Holland's the new one, the one right now.
Yeah. The middle one was the one with spiked hair, whatever.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. He was cool, but yeah, Tom Holland is good for now. For the younger character. Was one of the Fugazi's answer for his last name.
Who is this? One of the Fugazis? Oh, hell no. Let's see, put him on speaker.
Hey. Yeah, Fugazi was good.
The foo-foo.
I just got the text message. Canceled?
Yeah, it's rescheduled for Sunday, bro.
Oh, your flight?
Yeah, wait, I'm gonna add Saeed to this. Hold on a second.
Hey, man, just get on the pod, bro.
Yeah, get on.
Just on the pod. I thought we weren't doing it because Saeed doesn't have internet.
Man, fuck Saeed.
Yeah, I just call him, man. He FaceTimed me to show me a possible broken air conditioner outside. I was like, okay, I don't know why you're showing me. He's like, what should I do with this? And I was like, it's air conditioning. Your heat still works. Just tell him about it on Monday, bro. I don't know. It felt like he was trying to cover his own ass, you know?
No, but he can get on the phone. Bro, why is it canceled, though?
It's a snowstorm.
No, it's not. It's going to be fine tomorrow, though.
All right, I'll call you back.
Yeah, just shoot me a text. We got to do this podcast.
Okay.
Oh. Keep that in there. I'll cut it out.
I'll cut it. I'll cut it. Hold on.
Beginning and then
yeah. I'll cut the details.
Oh my goodness! There's no way that they could have flown that out.
Damn.
Tomorrow, the snow stops at 6 this morning.
I don't know why they would cancel flights. I mean, they used to happen with us too, but usually that was because of like during the lockdown and stuff, and people weren't traveling as much, so they couldn't fill the flights. Usually it's like that. They don't fill the whole flight, so they'll cancel one of them and bump so that they can fill the airplane.
I mean, I get that portion, but like, snow stops at 6 a.m. There's no way you don't have enough time to clean it.
I don't think
there's no way. You gave that flight to somebody else. Probably because the people that got canceled at 6.
Yeah. They delayed the early ones, pushed their flight, delayed their flight forward to your time, and then canceled your flight.
That's 100% that happened.
Yeah.
In terms of 100%.
Yeah.
If not, might have to go with somebody else. Because I'm not with a Saturday club night.
Is it tomorrow Saturday? Oh shit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, my sister, she got us on a guest list. I'm trying to go to that. Just because I've never been to this party.
Well, shit, man. You by hook or by crook, bro. Got to get to New York.
I'm saying like a wedding is a guest list party, I guess, but outside of that, anyways. Well, we're back. Sorry about that weather delay.
Weather delay.
Literally, in terms of that.
All right, so what's good? Let's get to the first topic then. Turkey-Syria Earthquake. We wanted to talk about this for a while, but there's last time was the shooting, so we didn't talk about it in the last pod. Excuse me, we didn't have a pod last week because of personal reasons on my part. So now we'll talk about it today. So luckily for you guys, one of the pod members has a degree in geology. So that was your bachelor, right, Sam?
Yeah, that's my bachelor's degree.
Yeah. So maybe you can start it out. You want me to share the screen, the link?
Yeah, you do the first one in terms of but before that, I'll run some numbers off in terms of the current statistics going on. As of 9 hours ago, from return.com, the news outlet, 51,000 people have approximately been died. In terms of that,
51,000. It went up to 51,000.
People have died in 2023. And both of those earthquakes that had happened in that area.
Mm-hmm.
At least 218,000 are non-fatal injuries. About 2.4 million people have been displaced. About 24 million people have been affected by this. About 200,000 buildings have been destroyed. Property damage for about ranging from $55 to $90 billion. The strongest of the two earthquakes was a 7.8, followed by a 7.1 earthquake later on. And both in the same year in terms of less than a month apart.
That's crazy.
You can see in this portion, and this, click on that where Syria is. It's nothing new that earthquakes do happen on the big red areas where Syria is. And it's nothing new in terms of the earthquakes in this area. In terms of that, this is just a seismic area or majority of the red beam not intensive frequency of earthquakes. So it does happen, but usually the magnitude that high, these are rare on a scale of 1 to 10. And 10 being the highest. Usually those are rare, but what happens is most of the earthquakes, as you can see on this map, most of them are offshore and then they come in. But the way that, go to the next one now, in terms of the next one. Yes, as you can see in the plate here, it's in between two massive plates, tectonic plates. So it's always going to be, it doesn't have water or anything to replace it. So there's going to be a lot more, I guess, damage in terms of sheer force of damage. So the magnitude, if the magnitude happens in terms of the other places that are on the ocean, then the earthquake is felt due to the waves on the land. It'll be, even if it was a more massive earthquake, let's say some of the ones in Japan have been higher too, in terms of 8 or 9 on the Richter scale. It might affect Japan and them less because of the distance it has to travel. But since it's already in the center, they're pretty much cities all around the center, the heart of the earthquake. And the way earthquake works is there's just shock waves and just waves running through the ground. And that's what causes shake effect in terms of that. But if you're sitting on the epicenter of it, you're going to feel the most intensive waves. And that's what it is in this case. It's hard to say they're not prepared for it or they should have been prepared for it. That's irrelevant to me. At the end of the day, it's 51,000 people are dead. It's 51,000 people are dead.
Yeah.
And that's the hard reality of it. And there was, in terms of why I wanted to talk about this topic, is mostly because of the fact that how when it first hit the news, I remember the news was shocked and they were counting the deaths and it was under 10,000.
And even then, it was like, oh my God.
It was, oh my God, exactly. And then it got a little bit higher, and then you don't hear about it anymore. And then the second earthquake came, then they said 40,000 total, and I was like, it's been going up this whole time?
Yeah.
And you guys are talking about it? It was shocking to me, and then the question arose in my head, I'm like, why is this so easily forgotten? And we're talking about the next news story in terms of that. Why is this so not on at least mentioning everything going on in terms of why isn't it the next top like at least small stories say this death toll this much. You know what I'm saying? Happy prayers or stuff like that. So two things came to me in terms of my take on this. It's funny because first thing I saw is the whole Ukraine stuff came up, and I was like, bro, how many millions, how many billions are we sending out to Ukraine for aid compared to how much we're sending out for a natural disaster like this in terms of that? We don't have no political at all in terms of being good American as a global health. It's beneficiary in terms of that. This is not going to get us better relationships in the Middle East, to be honest, in terms of that. Saudi Arabia doesn't really like him anyways, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like closer, it's not like we're going to be better relationships in the Middle East as a whole. It doesn't improve our relationship in terms of that. Doesn't make us better in fight against China, doesn't make fight against Russia, the proxy wars that we have against that. Doesn't make us any better on that. So why should we do aid to that when we already do? The year we've already dropped $50 billion in aid.
Yeah.
Great. Then, just a side note, as of right now, at least what I see here, in UN.org, according to UN Human Rights Office, at least 8,000 non-combative have been killed and nearly 13,000 have died. I'm not trying to say, because one life is very important. It's very important. I'm not trying to say.
Wait, this is statistics for what? The 8,000?
UN.org for the Ukraine.
Oh, the Ukraine, yeah.
The Ukraine war. In terms, these are non-combatants. I'm not talking about the war. Yeah. Non-combat people that died. They're not saying, look at this death, there's more death. And I'm saying one life is very precious. One life lost. It should get garnished the same attention as, at the very least, in terms of aid. You drive around America, it's very common to see Ukraine flags in terms of that. People switch their Facebook posts.
That's crazy.
But nothing against that, because lives dying in Ukraine and human rights is cool, and that's and I'm not saying that Russia, not pro-Russia at all, just making that clear. Having Russians attack and have killing in its lives, but at the end of the day, this innocent lives have died in both cases. And I'm just saying, bring the same energy. As Shannon Sharp said, bring the same energy in both cases. Same energy should be brought in terms of the Syria and Turkey. 51,000 is a lot. There's a lot of people. That's all of East Lansing.
Yeah, all of East Lansing. That's that's 15, 16. That's 16. It's like 16 9/11s. Yeah, Americans will understand that math.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know. That's why I know. The thing is, like, for me, I'm with you. When I first turned on the news, actually, no, you know what? I didn't hear it on the news first. I heard it on Twitter, because I'm like on Twitter too much, and I had the same feeling. I couldn't believe that. Usually, when a tragedy strikes, it'll be like, okay, the first number you get is probably like 90% or like half. Like after 24 hours, right? You'll get like 10,000 number, but you don't expect that number to go up, keep going up until 50,000. Like usually after the first day or second day, you've accounted for most of the deaths. But then for this one, it just keeps rising and keeps rising and keeps rising. And a lot of that is also because they had a lack of aid. Like Turkey got aid, but people forget about Syria because it's always the Turkey earthquakes, but people forget Syria is affected as well. And there's a reason for that too, why Syria is a little bit forgotten, because of the geopolitics and all. And I guess what to your point is like, how come I mean, look, Ukraine, the situation is it's justified. I get it. Things need to be done there, but I understand what you're saying as well. Like, we talked about this a few episodes ago. I think on our first full podcast where we were comparing the Ukraine situation to like Yemen, right? And now we're comparing Ukraine to this earthquake. Because I don't know how true it is. I'd have to look at the statistics. But a lot of people in Turkey and Syria because I saw videos from like people that were there online saying like, how come they're not getting the aid? Where's the aid? They're not seeing it. And I just feel like a lot of the reasoning why there's not as much aid is because they're not Ukraine. They have nothing to do with NATO. Syria is not an ally to the United States, really. For example, because of the whole Bashar al-Assad situation, how he's basically pro-Russia, if I'm not mistaken. And with Turkey as well, Erdogan is not really on good terms with the United States either, because a lot of people in the United States, and justifiably so, I think, see him as a sort of dictator type leader. So, and I can't help but think that in a time when there's a global scale tragedy such as these, where politics should be put aside and the United States as world leaders should be giving aid, as much aid as they can, I just can't help but think that that's not really what's happening. And the reality is, like, if it was Ukraine that got hit with these earthquakes, we'd see a lot more action, a lot more news coverage. But that's the world, man. I don't know what to say. Like, it's unfortunate. My heart and thoughts and prayers go out to the people in Turkey and Syria. I think, like, on top of the earthquakes, I mean, that's a tragedy, yeah. But like, the situation in Syria also needs to get better. Like, Syria, with the wars in Syria that's been going on the past decade, they haven't even like really recovered at all from that, and it's still going on actually. Syrian refugees situation. So I just, my heart goes out to those countries, man.
Do you think it's a white versus Arab thing then?
Not necessarily. I think that what I do think is the United States is, the United States are close allies with Saudi Arabia. The United States are close allies with Israel. The United States is anti-Bashar al-Assad, who is, however you want to look at it, the leader of Syria. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not an expert in this, the politics there, but like the rebels in Syria are backed by, I think, if I'm not mistaken, backed by United States. But I don't know. I'd have to double check that. And of course, there's again the Turkey and United States. The United States see Erdogan as some sort of dictator, so they're not going to be so. There's political tensions between these countries, so I don't think it's an Arab thing. Like, I think if the earthquake happened in Saudi Arabia, like, there'd be aid coming left, right, and center. You know what I mean? So
you do, and I agree with that. I think it's more political than race in terms of why they just don't have no benefit at the end of the day. Syria has been in a turmoil, warlord state for years now, and in terms of that, we gave aid, and not no quotation mark we have. It's just we have. It was chump change at the end of the day.
Yeah, I feel like they gave aid because it was the right thing to do, but not necessarily because they felt like, oh my God, we have to save these people. You know?
Yeah, in terms of exactly, and same thing with Africa in terms of that. So you're giving some in Africa, but you give Ukraine more than any other country at that time in the history of any foreign aid. You gave them more money in a single year than anything in terms of that. And I'm not saying that sovereign countries shouldn't have the right to be sovereign and we shouldn't help them. And I'm just saying, keep the same energy. Keep the same energy when kids are starving in Africa, but more importantly, when people are dying over a national earthquake in 50,000. There's over 50,000 hurt. Yeah, you might not win the battle against Russia or anything like that, and I get you. It would be bad for NATO countries if Russia takes Ukraine. I get that. I completely get that. But sometimes you have to learn to say no to some things. And it's the no's of what you say to really say a lot about you as a character, as a man. Yeah. As a man, country too. And that's what we're saying right now is that, of course, there's the racial thing that it looks like it, but we're saying that if we don't have any political gain, we will not help you.
Yeah, basically. And you know what it is? Like, it's just good optics on the politicians' part. Like, to give money to Ukraine, it's like, you know, oh, it's like not just trendy, but it's like, it's the good thing to do, the moral thing to do, to fight an enemy of our enemy. And it's like, it shows the politicians right now, Democrats particularly, to be brave. And, you know, it's good optics for them. It looks good. But giving money to Arabs doesn't really look good. You know what I mean? Like, people will think, as much as there's already people saying giving money to Ukraine is like a waste of money, it might look like that even more if they're giving money to, you know, Syrian and Turkish people, even though it's like they need the aid. Like, I don't know. I just feel like optics plays a lot in today's politics. Yeah.
But you think the optics of sending money to Syria would not look good?
No, I don't. I don't think it would look good because they've always been, you know, because of the whole political situation there with Assad and all that.
Because, I mean, Republicans will use that against them. They gave
money they will.
Arabs in terms of that. They'll just say,
giving money to like a country whose leader is pro-Putin, you know, it's like, why would you do that? They'll use that against them. That sort of thing.
That is, and that's in terms of Syria. That's what they'll say in terms of that.
Because it seems like Syria is sort of like this whole Turkey-Syria thing. Like, the focus has been more on Turkey. I don't know. I know that they always either show just the Turkey number or the combined number, but it's never just the Syria. You know.
Because I would have to say it's harder to get that data.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah. Sure.
It's definitely that data in terms of, and the numbers are significantly smaller, but I wouldn't be surprised if because right now it says more than 41,000 were killed in Turkey initially.
Yeah, no, it is. It's true. It was bigger in Turkey.
It's bigger in Turkey in terms of that, but I would feel like it's not as accurate in Syria. They just don't have that infrastructure to track.
You know, that's a good point.
Syria is a third world country. Turkey is not.
Yeah, Syria is a third world country in turmoil because of war.
Like, mostly because of war, not because of wealth.
Yeah, they were wealthy.
But Turkey's very modern.
Yeah.
I would say it's modern. The Western
So
modern.
Turkey's a developed nation, pretty much, like almost. Yeah.
Don't do that. My mom watches Turkey shows all the time. It's in terms of their exporting in terms of their culture. It's a very modern country in terms of that. Don't let it fool you with some of the rundown buildings and everything like that. It's a very modern. I'll have to say it's more developed than even Ukraine in terms of the modern.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old country.
Old country. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll wrap up this topic in terms of, I'll say one thing and I'll let you say one thing. In terms of that, keep the same energy. If you got a flag up for Ukraine, keep the same energy for Turkey and Syria, because it's innocent people, families and kids dying in the need. If you donate it out of your pockets to Ukraine, why aren't you donating out here? That's the way I'm saying. But if I'm talking to myself, though, I felt sad, and I made publicize about Ukraine, and I'm making publicize about Syria. Out of pockets, I haven't done anything at the end of the day. So I can't really be saying too much, but that's me.
But we have, though, because we pay taxes. So,
but I mean, my taxes not going to Syria. So me personally, I'm keeping the same energy. I'm coming at it with my mouth because that's what I have most, right?
Yeah.
In terms of that. I'm definitely, I'm not Russia fan. I'm not no commie fan at all.
Yeah, no, not a Putin fan. That dude's a thug, man. He's KGB spy, basically, man. He's fucking. Oh yeah. You know what I want to say, and it's unfortunate that we don't have the others here because I want all four of us to be here when we talk about the fourth estate, the news media, in the situation of the news, especially in the United States. But I will say this: news coverage plays a lot. It does a lot to shape how people view these issues. And as you said earlier, your first point was, they don't expect, it doesn't seem like they're covering it as much as they should be, this topic. And it's simple mathematical equation to them. It's just how many eyes can I get people to watch this channel, or clicks I can get so that I can make money off it. And, instead of doing the right thing and talking about the biggest stories, they just, it's not getting enough clicks. Let's wait until the number gets to 40,000 and we'll report it about it again. It's just unfortunate.
The president took a secret trip to Ukraine, Kyiv, like up down 9-hour flight, 9-hour train ride, pop out in the middle of secret co-op. Like, come on, bro.
And just for a photo shoot, man. It's just optics, like I said. It's just optics. They're already thinking about 2024, and it's obvious. Which we'll get to the Republican nominees' potentials at the end of this, so stay tuned. Okay, so should we move on to my topic? Or the next topic? Okay, I haven't been really on the news this week. It's been a little bit of a stressful week, and so I was everything media, every free time stuff I've been either reading or on social media. And by social media, I mean Twitter. And I found it interesting because what happened? Oh yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this channel, but there is a really big YouTube channel. There are actually two channels, but they're by the same people. It's Corridor Digital. And then they have another channel called Corridor Crew, in which they show the behind the scenes stuff. So Corridor Digital, they also have their own website. They're like an independent special effects. They make short movies. They make special effects. Like, they basically just like, they're a small team of special effects artists, and they just make short movies on YouTube. And that's how they made their name. Like, they've been doing it for a long time, and they have millions of subscribers now. And now, in recent years, they have another channel, which is also millions of subscribers, called Corridor Crew. It's where they show the behind the scenes of the movies and content they put out. And it's where they react to special VFX. So, and I like them. So Corridor Crew, if you see this, give us a shout out. Anyway, I am going to shit on you a little bit. But so that's how I got to know them, is they react to VFX in movies, and then they just react to it, whatever. But recently they came out with like a short film, I guess, and they've always been on top of this AI stuff. So like when AI started getting big, I would get news about it from them, about especially with computer generated images and what do you call that thing where you can put other people's face? Deepfakes and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And recently they used this AI to make a short film about rock, paper, scissors, which is besides the point, but they made an anime. So they called it an anime. Okay, they called it an anime. But when you say anime, usually you're thinking of like people drawing the anime, or more recently they will make anime or animated movies, you'd use computer illustrations. Okay, but this is not what Corridor did. So Corridor, for the sake, according to them, of democratizing animation or whatever, okay, they just filmed basically everything like they usually do on the green screen, okay, but they put whatever they film and they just filmed the characters. Basically the background is all not real, the sets and stuff. They used AI to make whatever they film and turn it into an anime. Okay? Excuse me. And so the sets are anime, the backgrounds, the castle that they were in, the powers that they use or whatever in the short film is all AI generated. Okay? And excuse me, and having millions of subscribers, and mainly their fan base are artists probably, they put this video out and they got a lot of backlash. Because they were like, look, it's anime. We made this new anime movie, short film, but it's AI. Now, people were like, this is not real art. This is not real anime. And it looks kind of shitty, to be honest. Like it looks dead. Like, and you know how AI can't really make hands. I don't know if you know that meme, but like AI is really bad at making hands. And even if you see AI generated art, there's always a few things that are off. Like people would look weird. So the AI will have a third arm. The buildings won't make, like, there's things like that. But anyway, like, people were saying this is unethical. This is unethical because even though they filmed the whole thing and then just basically put a filter on it, an AI filter or anime filter, the style of the anime, color scheme, like the art of it, the way AI works is it uses a pool of real art, like of real artists, real anime, and they basically just say, okay, make this. It's basically if I shot a video and then put it in the computer, it was like, okay, make this look like what anime is the one with the big giant people? Or make this look like Studio Ghibli or something, right? But that art style is someone else's work. But you are using it and you're calling it your anime and you're making money off of it, okay? So even though it's technically 100% original, the idea, the style is not original, right? The style is not original, okay? So you can't make something look like a Disney animation, right? You know how like almost all Disney animation movies look similar. They have the Disney style to it. So if it was like, if I made my own movie and put a Disney animation filter on it, right? Am I making art? even though that style is not something I came up with. That style is someone else's style. Just put a filter, right? So, and then I'll make money off it because technically none of the frames are copied, right? So I just want to ask you, man, like, and then also now you know, okay, well, before I ask you, let's go to this link. Okay, hold on. So, and nowadays you can do stuff like this. I've never really done this sort of stuff before, but like you can say girl on mountain in a studio. I spelled this right. Make sure I spelled Studio Ghibli right. Okay. Let's create this. Let's see what comes up. It's gonna take a minute or two. Or maybe not. That doesn't really look like Studio Ghibli. Yeah, but you see what I mean? Like here, right? Like they just made this. This is 100% original. It is made by AI. But there's a certain style to it. Like its style is sort of like Studio Ghibli style. Okay, which is a style that people came up with and is very popular. And I would argue that style is the art. Because nobody else will have the same style as you. If I ask you to draw something, nobody else will draw like you will. But now you can draw like someone else. Like I can put it girl on mountain in Batman comic style. Okay. Or I should have put DC comic. You see? Looks like a comic book. So but I told you about the hands. They can't make hands. The hands look like ass, right? But this is insane though. Like, and you can see like this one has a third ear, right? Batman has 2 ears, but it's like Chat GPT, where it's a good frame of reference. Like if I could copy this image, remove one of the ears, and redraw the hands, and I'm fine. You know what I mean? So, is this art though? Is this art? That's my question. I'll give you what I think later.
I mean, when you say that though, it comes down to at a tough time when people said what do they call it? Is NFTs art in terms of that. I couldn't at first like no, some digital pixel no. But and then I came to the conclusion some of it is. I might not think the monkey portions are art, but some of the digital art is in terms of art and time. Some people who just use in lab iPad and then they're just sketching on that portion and then they make it digital. That portion is art. Do I believe this portion is art? It's the same thing on that piece of paper. If you're using ChatGPT to write your paper, if you're sourcing your information, if it's that simple, then maybe not. I wouldn't generalize that whole thing as saying not art and discounted. Some people can create a masterpiece, if I'm honest, combining different styles and everything, and coming up with an Ethiopian style, right down to Ethiopian style, on that. But, so if you combine different things and maybe not, if you combine different aspects and it comes out something even the original person, if the original, no, that's not it.
Yeah, but no. The thing is, you can get more specific in the prompts, and like you just said, there are people who they will take different art styles, make the background this style, they're very specific with it. Like you can basically customize it, sort of like creating a character in a video game, but you can do that with art now.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying though. And I'm looking at some of the coordinated stuff. Yeah, it might not look the same, but like they're taking it to a new level in terms of that form of art in terms of anime. They're not drawing it per se every single thing in terms of the generating that images and everything like what they did is, I would consider it as a form of art. When you are thinking logically, some of that basic stuff, maybe not, but when they take second or third layers of complexity on adding to it, if you're adding all of those to it, I think it becomes art. That's just the way that's how I would respond to it.
I think that what we call art, or this is, I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, I think that what we're trying, like, art has to be redefined. I think that these are illustrations. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's the skill portion of it. There's the skill portion of it. And then there's the innovation, the new idea that's being presented into the world, right? So can I draw, like, can someone learn to draw in the exact same style as Van Gogh, for example, right? Let's see, Van Gogh style astronaut. Okay. And an AI can do that. Okay. But a person can also do that. Draw like someone else. So I think that's a skill. Okay. But I think the art has to come the art has to come with presenting something new, a new idea into the world. And AI doesn't necessarily do that. AI art. Okay, because there's nothing new, even though it's a combination of ideas, there's nothing new. But then where's the line? Like you said, even when people present something new, if a person, an artist, creates something new into the world, isn't a person also just a product of their environment? Isn't all the art that you produce just influenced by other artists before you? But in that sense, then AI could be real art, right? So, but the thing is, like, we're talking about semantics and definition. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I keep looking there because I'm on the share screen thing now. But what doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's what this means to the industry. Okay, so if you were a company and you have a brand and you sell a product, you have to redesign your logos, what your packaging, things like that, right? You used to have a team of artists, maybe, right, to come up with concepts, ideas, and stuff. But now you don't really need a team of artists. You can have a team of technicians, AI technicians, to generate random art for you, right? So it's like, it's a weird thing to think about in terms of industry. Like, do you keep hiring artists and paying artists because that's how they make a living? Or do you, like, instead of hiring 20 artists, you just hire 1 or 2 technicians to come up with a bunch of ideas? Then you just get one artist to finalize that idea. So, it's tricky, man. It's going to change the way we look at art in the future and how it interacts. How we interact with art.
But it also comes down to, if you've seen the deep fakes, it's hard to know which one is real, which one is fake.
I know, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's hard to know which art is real and which art is fake.
Mm-hmm.
Not or fake, but like, AI generated in terms of that.
Yeah. That's why we have to redefine art, man. We can't just call everything art anymore. You just have to say it's a picture or an illustration.
There's some times where I didn't think those art too, when it was just splashes of color, and then they said modern art. Just as
like Jackson Pollock.
Some people put blocks of ice melting, and it was a famous artist. Literally put blocks of ice, and then literally cube and called it art. In terms of that, I'm not serious.
Yeah, no, there was a person. There was famous like 100 years ago, or 50, 60 years ago. They famously took a urinal. This French dude, I think, took a urinal, put it in an art display, and said this is art, to see how many people would think it's art, but it's just a urinal. And like, so is that art though? So like, because people thought it was art, they interacted with it like it was art, but it was just a fucking urinal. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyway.
Exactly. At the end of the day, and so what is the definition of art?
That's the thing. It's so subjective, man. It's just how you interact with things. But if you want to, so that's why, like, you have to redefine it and say, like, maybe if you want to be an artist, you have to present something new. Or I don't know how you even would evaluate that. Either way, I think the industry is going to change. Like, you know how there used to be, like they used to paint portraits, and like they used to paint portraits of people or paint landscapes, and like that would be considered art. But then like they created a photograph, and now all portraits are taken by cameras, and like landscapes are taken by cameras. I mean, you can still do like still life photos and art and stuff, but it's not like significant, So I think it's gonna change in that way. Like it's like a new technology that people are just gonna create new types of art with.
Yeah, but this is the art definition. It says an expression or application of human creative. That's a good one. Of human creativity, skills and imagination, typically in a visual form, such as painting or sculpture or producing works to be appreciated primarily for the beauty or emotional power. And then the second, the various branch of creative activities such as painting, music, literature, and dance.
Yeah, that's how we usually define it. But that first definition is key, because what did it say? Human imagination
is the application, or says the expression of application of human creative skill and.
So if you define it as application of human creative skill, then AI would not be considered because there's nothing human about it.
No, but it says the expression, though.
Yeah, expression. So art is like how you express yourself, right? It's how you express emotion. It's how you express feeling, But an AI doesn't have emotion. So it can't create that. But it can, though. That's the thing. Like, it can create a painting.
But it says, or application. It is an application of human creative skill because, like you said, it is human-based. That's why you are saying in this person's style. Because it is.
Yeah, but human-based, you're right. It is originally from a human. Exactly. But then you're screwing that person, but you're screwing the artist, though, in that case, because then he wouldn't get royalties.
I mean, I wouldn't think you are, because that everybody would know that's not one of his work. You're actually promoting the original ones even more, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The original ones become more highly sought after if the AI generators become sought after also.
Yeah, but that only works for like famous, talented artists. But if the most artists work for companies.
Yeah, but like, why would you buy shitty art in the first place?
No, but it's not necessarily shitty. I'm saying
there's no money to be made in terms of that. If people were buying the original version of some guy off the street, they're not gonna buy it the person's digital version. Some of the art though, because volunteered now at the arts fair for several years. Some of the best artists are the ones that take the most time to put together in terms of hours. So somebody that does little feathers and then makes it into a big mural, but it's just little feathers that added up to that.
Okay, and that artist, how does he make money? How does he or she make money?
What do you mean? It's out of the arts. Like so, that would be generated by an AI. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know it's not. Yeah, but until someone takes a picture of it and uploads onto the internet, and yeah, it can be generated by AI.
It's literally just the fabric is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, material stuff. Yeah.
Art, the what do you call it? One each year, 3 gets nominated for the People's Choice is what they call it, and then out of the 3 nominated, one of them is picked the best in show that year. Last year, the lady that won it did huge landscape arts of in full detail of cities in terms of that.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
And stuff like that. Yeah, generate that aspect of it. Don't get me wrong. It will never be as close to hers in terms of
you know what? Also, like there's that dude who has photographic memory, went up in a helicopter over New York, and then just from that he drew the whole of New York. But like an AI can't draw that to that specificity, not yet at least. And what this reminds me is like this, and you can clip this for later or whatever. But I want to say this: like, what AI has done. Because ever since the birth of technology and maybe the birth of digital technology, everything has been shifting towards digital. Everything has been digitized. Okay? But, so then that's how you make money, streaming with music. But with now AI replicating digital media, what it's done is it's given me at least a much more higher appreciation and value to physical art. You know, things that are not made on screen, things that are made on paper, you know, paintings that are made on a canvas, like the actual physical thing of it, not a picture of the Mona Lisa, but the Mona Lisa itself, right? That it's given me a lot more appreciation on the physical art. And similarly, like with ChatGPT, similar to like, okay, how do you get around students not plagiarizing using ChatGPT? And there's only one real answer to it, because ChatGPT is just going to get better and better and better. Let me land. There's only one real answer to it, and that's just to test them in a classroom like they used to with a blue book. You know, that's just so this like there's like this whole thing towards digitizing everything has sort of, for me, made it less valuable. And now what's real valuable is real world things again. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. There's a kid in, I think it was Harvard. He patented a way to test. I don't know how real it is, but in terms of a way to test if GPT has been used on a piece of paper.
No.
So he's
trying
to sell it. He's trying to to the student. But I'm like, if you use it in segments, there's no way you can take it. You can get it.
Yeah.
In the full paper, you could probably pick that up based on internet sources and reverse engineer that in terms of that. If you are just and that's the best use of ChatGPT. If you know the beginning and if you know the end in terms of that, especially in terms of papers, if you know the beginning and the end, it can get you those segments or a lot faster.
Like if you outline, like usually with my writing process, I outline first. And if you have your outline ready, you save so much time, you know, with ChatGPT, because you just have to construct the narrative flow. They'll just do the writing for you.
Exactly.
But you can't do that in the classroom, you know, for class exams, you know. So if you use a blue book exam, so you still have to write. So.
Exactly.
Well, that was my AI. So now we move on
to the main topic, the main show, the final. It's the final countdown.
Okay, so I don't know. Like I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up past couple weeks on politics. So you enlighten me on this. Should I share the link?
Yes. We'll just run through the link, and that'll be the topic that we're talking about.
Okay, here we go. You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say? Yeah, he's gonna lose to Donald Trump.
I'm not gonna lie. I heard about it, and I didn't know what he looked like or what he did until this podcast and until this article, and then I just Googled him.
Oh no!
First, and I was just like, bro, you jumped in, and most people don't even know who you are. In terms of
the thing is, like, I'm sorry, but let's be real, all right? Just for all full disclosure, like, I'm a left-leaning person, but I don't think that the Democrats are like the savior of the world. Like, they have so much flaws. If anything, I'm more anti-establishment, than I am left-leaning. But what I will say is, on this, just by looking at this, I don't know about this guy. He's not gonna win, not because of his politics, bro. This is a minority running in the Republican Party. Come on. When's the last time a minority won as a Republican candidate? Like, can you give me one example? One example. It doesn't even have to be the president or a senator, like any.
Republican Party? There was a couple of black. What's his name? Ben Carson? What's his name?
Oh, you're right, Ben Carson. I mean, wasn't he a doctor? He wasn't elected.
He's a doctor. He was running.
He lost. So this is what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean in terms of that? So, yeah, and he's an L. I'm just going to say, I don't think he'll win any. I don't think he even win his home state in terms of that.
So, what is the state?
I don't know, but
so why would you want to bring him up though?
No, I wanted to go through the list. That's a whole list.
Oh, it's a whole list? Oh my god, it's a whole list. All right, so L, okay, L.
Through it, yes.
L. Let's go. All right, Nikki Haley, the ambassador, former ambassador.
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad said she's his top candidate. It's wild, but she is his top candidate.
To be fair, what I've heard from her last is she has gone up slightly in the polling to like 9% at the most, I think. But yeah, I mean, she can be the vice president maybe.
What do you think, though? Do you think it's a W or an L?
Bro, yeah, I told you Donald Trump's gonna win 2024. Yeah, but
candidate, bro. So.
Do I think no? She'll be there. She'll be there. Maybe like in terms of her own like progressing her own career, probably a W. Like she will be in the debates. You know what I mean? Like she'll be on the news. Like she'll be one of the top 5 for sure. And then she can win another. She'll get a cabinet post maybe, or after the election, or she'll run for governor or something. You know, in Iowa. She's from Iowa. She can win something in Iowa. Sure.
It's one of the first primaries. It's huge. It gives you that momentum in terms of that.
Oh, you know what? She's daughter of Indian immigrants. Didn't even realize that.
By her name, I thought she was.
Yeah, she doesn't look Indian. I guess she sort of does here, but.
Nikki Haley, Holly.
So Sam, this is your top candidate.
Bro, my dad is rarely wrong when it comes to these, which is wild in terms of he is. Bro, he called the moment Donald Trump announced his running. He called it literally on day one. Day one.
That he was going to win the presidency?
Yeah.
Damn.
Day one. I laughed at him for months until it got close. I'm like,
I didn't.
And then after he won the primary, I already knew he was going to win.
Yeah. So me too. So like, when he won the primary, it was obvious that he was probably going to win.
Yeah, in terms of no matter what you said, like I grabbed him by the thing, didn't cut you down.
Oh hell, you're unstoppable.
I can stop this man.
But this is the guy, man. This is the guy he's the next golden boy of the Republican Party. He's supposed to be the guy who turns things around and move people away from Trump. But the latest thing, DeSantis, yeah. And the latest thing I heard about this, though, which I think like it's kind of securing it for me, that Donald Trump will be the Republican candidate. I don't know if you've heard, but he's had a couple rallies, Ron DeSantis. So he's yet to announce, but we all know he's running. Okay. You know what happened? A bunch of Trump supporters went to one of his rallies. Okay. And you know Ron DeSantis' MO is, his MO is freedom, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of anti-woke, freedom of religion. Ironic because he also does the book censorships in Florida. But you know what he did? He got the cops at his rally to tell the Trump supporters, you can't wear that here. You can't wear Trump stuff here. And then the Trump supporters went back at the security. The cops was like, "What are you telling me? What, you telling me I can't? Don't have my freedom, my rights? I can do whatever I want." And then of course the cops just had to go walk away. Now, if Donald Trump saw that, what's stopping him from telling all of his fans to hijack Ron DeSantis' rallies? Can you imagine that? If he just told Ron DeSantis is having a rally in Ohio, all Trump supporters go to there and hijack the rally. What's going to happen? I don't know, man. I just think it would be interesting.
My dad laughed at him. And when I keep saying my dad's a PhD in history, and he's studied American politics in terms of that, and I count him as a credible source in terms of that. I think he's still got a shot, but it's the same argument is if I consider myself a conservative. If I voted for Trump last time, I'm not going to vote for DeSantis this time. I'm going to vote for Trump again. In terms of that, that's what I would do. In terms of, it's just me though.
Yeah.
So he'll be there in the end. So I'll consider him a W so far.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if even if Trump wins, he'll run again in 2028. You know, this guy, he'll be around.
Yeah. What's the next guy?
Tim Scott.
You go first, or maybe if you don't know.
Oh, I mean, Tim Scott, I'll just read the top thing there. He's a junior U.S. Senator from South Carolina and the only Black Republican in the chamber. Is weighing his candidacy options. Again, he seems to me like he's just trying to promote himself at this point. I don't think he like, Mayor Pete. Like, I don't think he thought he was going to win the presidency, but, he got the transportation secretary. Which, by the way, we didn't talk about the Ohio thing, did we? Anyway, that's maybe another.
No.
So, yeah, that's my take on this guy. He'll be in the mix. Remember, similar to Ben Carson last time, I guess.
I like his personality. I really like his political stance and even what he stands for. But he doesn't have it in terms of. He does not, and Ben Carson definitely didn't have it in terms of that. And I don't even like it.
The thing about Ben Carson, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, is if I saw I saw a photo of Ben Carson and then I saw him again in the street, I would recognize Ben Carson. If I saw this dude again in the street, I would not know it's him. I'm sorry, but he's just not it. Like, he just looks so regular. Like, you know what I mean?
But I mean, like, Ben Carson was more of extreme in terms of his political opinions and where he's standing for. This guy's very moderate, if I'm honest. relatively in terms of where he is a conservative, but I really like it. It's just that he doesn't have it in terms of you need that it factor to be a presidential candidate. You just need that.
I mean,
it's just nowhere around it in terms of running, because it's a political game and it's a media game.
Yeah, it's a media game.
I think it's L.
Yeah, it's an L. It's a bona fide L.
My God!
Oh hell no! Not the
My God!
the Virgin King himself, Mike Pence.
Fat W.
Yo, Pence versus Trump race would be insane. It's like it's not even like a real world thing. It sounds like a TV show type of storyline.
Okay, so I'm keeping what you and me both say W's and what my dad says. So far, my dad only has a lady in terms of that, but we have lady and
Nikki Haley, DeSantis, and Mike Pence. I don't. Think,
now
look,
no chance.
You saying Mike Pence is a W?
I think it's a W.
Okay, let me give you what I think. I think Mike Pence is a walking L. He was an L since he was born, and he's been an L, and he'll always be an L. So, but in terms of our discussion, it is a W because he's always been, my perception of him is he's just always been a little bitch boy. So for him to even run against Trump would be like one attempt at trying to regain his integrity back. So that's the way I look at it.
In terms of that.
Do I think he's going to win? No. I do think he'll get the moderate vote more so than Tim Scott. Even though he's nowhere near a moderate. Moderate conservative, I guess. He's a very anti-abortion. It's hard to, I don't know. He wants to ban abortion pills, bro. You ain't gonna win the presidency doing that.
DeSantis is the same thing.
That's the thing, though. But he doesn't run on that. But you're right, though. I can't be surprised anymore, man. Even the fucking Supreme Court took away abortion rights. So it's crazy.
Yeah. But okay, we'll have mixed reviews on him.
He's yet to be determined. We'll see. Okay, Larry Hogan. I don't even know what this is.
Oh yeah, I know Larry. In terms of he was very big in terms of COVID. He was one of the few Republican governors during COVID that was pretty much pro-COVID in terms of making sure that we followed science and not.
Oh, you mean like he was for lockdowns instead of against lockdowns like the rest of the Republicans?
In terms of, relative speaking compared to that. Didn't know that he was running, but I just know him because of that.
Okay.
Still, I get that. He's not going to rally the party off of that. Just off of the COVID situation. In terms of that. So I say L.
Yeah, I don't think, look at him. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but at the end of the day, like, I need someone who, at least when they stand next to Putin or when they go into a meeting with Putin, that they can hold their ground. This dude's getting slapped up by Putin, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's it. Those are the runnings. So, generally speaking,
that was it.
Generally speaking, look, like I said, I wouldn't vote Republican. Just not this. I haven't before, and I don't think I would anytime soon. Just because of basic things like, economically, they like to cut taxes, and it's hurt. It takes. What happens when you cut too much taxes is, the regular working class people have to subsidize that loss of money in the government, because you're cutting taxes for what happens is middle class and upper class people. You're cutting taxes on businesses predominantly. So that it doesn't really work. This trickle down economics, I'm not seeing any rain. It's a drought out here. There's nothing trickling down. Secondly, of course, the abortion issue is like, but the thing I understand why, because it depends on religious issues as well, but at a human level, I think people have the right, whether I agree with it or not, I think people should have autonomy on what they do with their own bodies. So, and then Donald Trump is just he's a racist, man. Like he's a racist. So it's hard for me to like vote for that. But the thing is, like on the other side of things though, Democrats are shit. They're just shit at their jobs. Like, for example, right? Remember when Donald Trump was like ban Muslims from coming to the United States, and then they put all the Mexican kids and the South American refugees in those prison camps? You remember that? He was very like protect the borders type thing. What does Joe Biden do? Nothing. He's even made it, it's exactly the same right now, but there's no media coverage on it because he's not targeting a specific group of people. He's just making it more strict for everybody because it doesn't target a specific group of people. It's like he's more, they don't cover it, whatever reason. Trump Trump allowed more drilling in the Arctic or Alaska or something like that. And Joe Biden's done the same in terms of climate change. So there's like when the real issues, like global issues, like they're basically almost the same. Financially, they're almost, economically, they're almost the same. Environmentally, they're almost the same. The only difference there are between the two parties are social issues. And I could give less of a fuck about social issues, really, with exception to maybe abortion and the LGBTQ thing, like just equal rights in general, whether you agree with it or not. So I don't know, man. Like the things they cover in the news is bullshit, bro. Like they don't even talk about real shit.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that both are corrupt. As Saeed would say, it's you can't beat them, join them in terms of the corruption.
Yeah, but Saeed's not joining them either.
Close enough.
But what I'm saying is like he's not gonna become a politician anyway.
Oh yeah. I get what you mean there. In terms of that.
He's in the system, I guess.
If you got to be corrupt in terms of that, you might as well join. Doesn't matter though which one, if you're left or right, we're all in the mud together though in terms of that.
Yeah.
Just that portion of it. And I guess that's what I'll wrap this up. I am conservative in terms of that, but not just because of my religious or in terms of that, but mostly because of my fiscal policy in terms of that are very conservative. That's why economically I'm more conservative, and then other things. I don't think, but if I didn't vote for Biden last time, and I would not vote for Biden again. Just don't like somebody that says something and does something else. I don't like slip up.
That's the problem with the Democrats, man.
If you say Trump is racist, I feel the same way about Biden being racist, and even worse is Kamala being racist. I just feel the same way in terms of that. It's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, but I mean, at least economically, I think like the Democrats. But the thing about Democrats is inaction. They say they want to fix the problems the Republicans have made, right? But they don't. They just stall it for another 4 years until the Republicans get into office and actually do something that's counterproductive, unfortunately. So anyway, we need Bernie, man.
Oh my goodness, this commie comes out with some bullshit. We're ending it right now.
Bernie Sanders needs to run again, man. Just destroy everybody this time. Anyway, young people, go out and vote, man. Don't let the old people like Sam here vote Republicans again.
Hey, young people, vote for my girl, Nikki Haley. She the truth.
Anyway, all right. Next week we'll get some other topics, and let's give the other guys back.
Yes, sir.
Like and subscribe. Peace.